All right, y'all. I just wanted to share with you all. I'm so frustrated, a little bit, and a little sad. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm going through right now. What I'm doing, and excuse this on my head. I'm just trying to keep my hair down until it's time for me to walk out the door. Um, what I'm doing right now is I'll read to you a page of my journal. Basically, Husa. I mentioned eidetic memory. That NSA guy that I bumped into yesterday, I was just amazed that he remembered every little detail. He said it was eidetic memory, but it could be something else. But that's what he said. Basically, eidetic memory is, and that's EIDETIC, it's just vivid and detailed memory. You're able to remember every detail. And I was just having these thoughts to myself. I don't know if I wanted to work on Friday. They did offer for us to work on Friday, night shift during the day, because I was going to go to Miami to try to handle that issue if I could. It was offered, but I had other plans for my Friday regarding researching my personal matters. I think it's really important. In order to do this, I have to do and really important for me to get all this clarified, because this is a perfect opportunity. This employer actually took the time to explain to me what was going on, what to expect, and so forth. So, I think it's really important. And in order to do this, I have to do all of my homework tomorrow, you know. And I was saying, I guess I should get started today, but I would really prefer to relax today and just sort my thoughts out and my feelings. But the truth is, I need to do it today. So I got started. It's nothing to it but to do it. The only fear I have is that I will do nothing on Friday if I don't do anything today. Again, procrastination. We don't want to do that. I have to make a change in my life, and I guess that change start today. So I went up to call the clerk of court. Got the clerk of course, got all these voice prompts. You can't get to a person. They ask you to put in all these prompts, and they want you to put in the case number. I don't know what the case number is. So I went to go research the case number, got the case number both for the original filing and then for the appeals filing. Then I went to back to call the number again, inserted the numerical portion of the case number, and repeated back the case number. The case number was correct. And so I'm thinking for sure I'm going to get a person now because they have a case number. No, I get a voice recording that comes up that says, repeats the number and says it's correct. I say, yeah. Then it says that this case is something for August 31st, 1970. I wasn't born in 1970. I was born in 75. And then it says that it was closed on January 27th, 1971. My case didn't close in 3 months. Somebody wrote some checks or something way back when. And that has nothing to do with me. And this is how I'm telling y'all, the system is so, excuse my language, flawed. I wanted to say something else. The system is so flawed and so unreliable and undependable. I don't even see how anybody would use it to gauge anything, to have any say so in anyone's life. This is so retarded. Exact case number, totally something completely different, from back in 1970. 1970. That has nothing to do with me. And I'm going to tell y'all, it angers me. Some time has passed, but it still angers me that going to court, I saw a lawyer get up there that was completely antiquated. The judge was talking about one case. This lawyer that was supposed to be on the defense team was talking about an entirely different case. This man had the authority to put somebody behind bars in jail, mess up their life forever. And he was talking about the entirely different case. And someone spoke up and said, excuse me, I think the judge is talking about this case. And I'm just sitting in the audience and I could see he was talking about the wrong case. The man was like, see now, he should be in jail for practicing like that. But unfortunately, the people that hire these types of attorneys or only have those type of attorneys available, they don't have the time or resources to do any of that. And then if you try to defend yourself, you're looked as if something's wrong with you. I can't believe that. How irresponsible. And then to even add on top of that irresponsibility, all the companies and things that actually rely on the justice system records to decide, how they're going to move forward or how they're going to treat people. And I just, it just appalls me. And my case was regarding work. This appalls me. Absolutely appalling. And you can't even get to anyone to say, hey, it asks you if that's the correct case number. Yeah, it's the correct case number, but this has nothing to do with me. I was not even in existence at this time, And this information is from the public clerk of court search stuff. So sad, you guys. So sad. it makes you angry where you don't even want, and what I was told, because I remember when I was on this case and I was trying to fight it and everything through homelessness and everything else, I remember a lawyer told me the system is meant to wear you down, and when you're right in it, you have all these people that have all these predisposed dispositions. And when I say dispositions, I don't mean legal dispositions, but prejudices or prejudgments, based on stereotypes that have been placed into their head by the system, that you don't even that you don't have time to come up for air, because all of these things, and these are from people that are quote unquote in authority. So you're thinking, there must be some kind of way that I'm coming off the wrong way. Let me adjust that. No, it's not. They're just, they are literally, they're, they are not thinking before they're doing. They're just doing. They're doing because that's what they're told to do, like robots. And that's what they're programmed to do. And they do not stop and think, does this make sense what I'm doing? Has this, why is this happening? They don't think about that, and it's alarming to me, and it's scary that there's a lot of intelligent people at jobs and places like that that know this. They know it, and they just and they just go right along with it, and there's no way. I'm trying to get the paperwork for the case. I can't get it. You know why I can't get it? Because when I'm calling this number, putting in the case number that's given to me on the clerk of court records, which appears to be the right number, they're telling me this is from a case in 1970. And this employer is requiring, of course, that I provide some type of documentation, notarized from the court or whatever, is saying what this was. But how can I do that if they're not even acknowledging that it's the right thing on the phone? Now, on the net, it shows it, and I didn't click on it to see what it says and everything like that, but I'm assuming, because it has my name on it, that is right. But I can't just print it out from there. I have to have it notarized or whatever, a seal from the court, so I'm just like, what in the world? This is just absolutely crazy. So that's where I am right now. And I only have like maybe 30 minutes more to work on this before I need to step out the door. And it's just, and maybe that's one reason, the system, everybody that works for the system, to me, is just, it's hard to deal with a bunch of people that do not think for themselves, that just operate. That's all they do is do. They do. Because there's no reasoning with that. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have this, and like I said, I don't know if I shared with y'all, I tried to call the Court of Appeals to get information from them. When I called the Court of Appeals, a black lady answered the phone, and she was just like, oh, you have to talk to such and such, and basically hung up. He's going to let you get a call back. Bam, hung up. Don't know who I talked to, whatever. The guy that, when I call back, the guy that answers the phone, he's Hispanic. He barely speaks any English, and he's telling me that he doesn't have the information. So I guess I have to call back the clerk, of course. And then the thing about it is that when you go through the legal system, what happens, and I didn't realize this, you can end up with more than one like charge or whatever, because what happens is that you go to court for this, and then they court order me to homelessness. And so because you court ordered to homelessness, you may not get all the papers and filings and whatever, and then the lawyer on the prosecuting side, they can schedule a court date for the next day. The papers don't even have time to get to you. You understand me? And then if you don't show up for that, you could end up with another, like a warrant or something, because you didn't show up for court, but it was for the next day. They know that you're homeless. And I was in court every single day. I just didn't receive that document. And so I started setting cases for the next day. I didn't receive the document, but I was in court and the lawyers all saw me there. So, I'm just, and that's the first hurdle I got to get over. The second hurdle is employment verification. That company that I was trying to verify a billion times, they're not even responding to the background check people either. They're not responding to them either. So that has to be taken legally. I'm going to have to go through the Department of Labor or whatever and force them to provide that information. I mean, y'all, it's crazy. Absolutely insane. And when I called that place, the old job that I was telling y'all about, where that girl came to my YouTube channel and whatever, I spoke to the gatekeeper, and she was just like, and I don't know if she knew me, but she was just like, I always enjoy speaking to you. And she was like, she should have had some language, the message. So I guess what their tactic is, they're just going to ignore it. Just ignore it unless there's something legal to go with it, because whatever they have in the file is not supposed to be in there. And again, just like the system does, they know that you don't have the time. They assume you don't have the time and resources to manage it. And so, they don't have any gall to do the right thing. Like the lady said, she's going to be retiring soon. She's planning on retiring from that company. She's been there for X amount of years. Now, I'm going to say this. I commented, um, I did a quick response, a very quick response on commenters on YouTube. And one person I didn't respond to that I really need to, Miss Veronica Ford. Yes, I do remember you from, how old am I now? 40? From over 20 years ago in Richmond, Virginia. I was going to school at Virginia Commonwealth University. And I want to say thank you for reaching out to me. You reached out to me a couple times before, but I didn't know who it was. I saw some video that looked like a twerk video, and I was like, what is that all about? But then I don't use Facebook, but I happened to check it one time because, just out of whimsy, you're hoping maybe my family might have tried to reach out or something, but no. And she was she was one of the only, I'm going to tell you who reached out to me. The first boyfriend that I ever had in Hampton, Virginia, he always reaches out. I'm not sure why, but he does. Maybe just because, from the beginning, I think he was like Mr. Save a Girl or whatever, because that's actually how we met. My family is a military family, and my family is this is not for him. This is because of the whole situation. It's just a lot. But my family is a military family, and what ended up happening was our family was close to another military family, and somehow through the course of things, we both ended up living in the projects. My mom divorced my dad, and the other family were kind of sort of still together, I guess, but maybe divorced too, I don't know. But we were military families, and somehow we still interacted. My dad and their dad went fishing, whatever. And that family actually was cousins with this other family, and we went with that family to go visit this other family that were cousins to the family that we kind of sort of grew up with. And when we went to visit them, the aunt had a son, and that son was trying to flirt with me or hit on me or something like that, and I wasn't interested. But we went to the park, whatever. He pushed me on the swing. I think it was like 15 years old or something, and I guess he went and told everybody. And I guess because the stigma is that if you're a project girl that you're loose or whatever, and I'm not, but he went and told everybody that, I don't know exactly what the story was, that something happened between us or whatever. And my first boyfriend at the time, well, I guess it's always gonna be my first boyfriend, but he, I guess somehow, I don't know what happened, somehow he found out about it, and he wasn't my boyfriend at the time. I didn't know who he was, but I guess he got mad because that dude told him that, and he was just like, no, that's not her at all. And so he actively, if I remember the story right, it's been like 25, 30 years. I don't remember everything. This is my recollection of it. I may be remembering parts wrong, but it was something like the guy that was the cousin of the family friend was telling the story because we went to the park to swing on the swings. He was trying to talk to me. I was like, I'm not interested. I don't date. I don't do boyfriends. See, I told you from the beginning, I always said I didn't. But it's always circumstances that caused me to have whatever boyfriends I had. So, so anyway, the story got to this dude, and I don't know if we may have met briefly once, like maybe he saw us there, he said hi, and then I guess the guy went and told him the story, and he was just like, no, don't do that, that's not her at all, and whatever. And in his heart, he was just like, that's a nice girl, and he was kind of, I guess, pissed off by it. So he came to find me. I don't know how he found me. I don't know how it happened, but I don't know how we got together. I don't know if he sent me a note, came to find me somehow, whatever. He came to find me somehow, and he came to find me somehow, and basically he asked me if I would be his girlfriend, and I was just like, no, I don't do boyfriends, whatever. And then he kept saying, and then I was just like, well, okay, fine, and I just laughed, because I was just like, I'm not a boyfriend type of person. But I guess I'll tell the rest of the story later, and yeah, I'll tell the rest of the story in a minute.